Well, we just come through 4 or 5 days of what they're calling the one of the worst storms worst storms of the season. And I think you can think you're ready, but um, until you get into one, I don't know for sure that you really know. So for the when I heard the storm was coming in, and it was supposed to be ice, snow, really frigid temperatures. And we did. We got not so much ice, a little bit of sleet, 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches, I guess, of snow. But really, really cold. We went about 72 hours, maybe a little longer, below freezing. We were down to -1 one night, mostly single digits in the night, up in lower teens through the day. So for us here in West Texas, uh, that's more of winter than we usually get. So a couple of days uh, before this started, before the storm hit, of course they was giving us their warnings, just telling us it was coming. There's anywhere from a couple of inches of snow to they said more than a foot. So we really didn't know what to expect. I guess this must have been a hard one for the weather people to figure out. But anyway, back a couple of days before, uh, on my blog site, I'd posted a blog of and I titled it "Are You Prepared for a 10-Day Disruption?" So I guess my thought was, uh, whether it's a storm, it could be anything. Uh, are you prepared if uh, if if things just shut down? Can you get by for 10 days? I think that's probably a reasonable amount of time to expect. If something happened, your ATMs, the banks, uh, we have a disruption in the food supply, getting stuff in. Uh, within 10 days, um, we'll have a good idea of of uh, of how everything's going to go, and uh, I would think that we'd be getting some sort of some sort of normal, if we can get by that first week to 10 days. So so I'll put out. It ended up being a list of 10 things that I think uh, we should be we should all be prepared for. And I think being older, when I was younger, I didn't worry much about that. You know, uh, I don't know why. I thought I could drive in anything, ice, sleet, snow. Uh, I could get to the store to get something. Uh, had enough wood, could always haul wood if we needed to. Oh no, kill this. Get to somewhere, get to somebody's house, uh, could get by. If I needed to shovel our way out of the garage, just I had a shovel. I could just shovel the snow, the ice, whatever, to get ourselves out. I think once we retire, uh, we got to look at things a little bit different. Uh, it's a little harder to get to the grocery store. Uh, I, I don't know that I'm quite as confident in my driving skills on ice as I once was. Um, I don't know that I was ever really good at doing that anyway, but I always thought I was. Uh, I found out through this storm that we're used to. I just hop out and shovel the driveway. Um, I, I didn't get all the way through it. A little bit harder. Um, I got enough shoveled. Uh, it was where we couldn't get out of the garage. But, you know, I was out there shoveling, just a quick story. I was out there shoveling, and the neighbor come over and said, you know, that's more people have heart attacks shoveling snow. That's a really common deal. I said, huh. No wonder Anita was wanting me to get out here and get this driveway cleaned. She probably thinks we have more life insurance than I really have. I'm kidding, but I couldn't do like I used to. Used to, it was just nothing to it. Just get out there and shovel it and be done. Um, so I think as we get older, we need to look at this different than uh, we did before. And until something comes up, I, I guess I really haven't thought much about uh, am I prepared for 10 days, whether bad weather, ATM being down, um, can't get to the grocery store. Um, there's a lot of things that could happen that we just need to be prepared for. So I didn't want to put out anything when I wrote my blog to make anybody think that I'm a prepper. Uh, I'm really not. But I have always tried to think of myself as being prepared. So, um, and especially these last few days, being stuck in the house, our electricity never went out. We had no issues. The house stayed nice and toasty, uh, other than just being uh, just just snowbound and in the house. I guess you call it cabin fever. Uh, Other than that, uh, it really wasn't a big deal for us this time. So but being older, we really need to think about it and be prepared. So let me go right quick through the list that uh, that I put on my blog. Um, and I can tell you, I kind of did the easy way. I went to my friend Gemini AI, and I just put in, you know, what do we need to be prepared, being retired, to be prepared for a 10-day disruption. And here's what it come out with. First, it said you need some cash stashed. Whether you have a disruption or not, I think you always need a little bit of cash stashed. You may not be able to get to an ATM. Something may come up. You know, I don't think much, or at least for what I'm thinking, not much. $300 to $500. You probably want them in small bills. You wouldn't want to go if something happened in the grocery store and their credit card processor is down and all they can do is handle cash transactions, and you need a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk, and all you have is $100 bill. They may not have the cash to after a day or so. They may run out of cash to be making change like that. So. Let's keep that in ones, fives, tens. Just a small amount, $300 to $500 could surely get you by till for a few days. Next, a battery-powered or hand-cranked NOAA, which is the Weather Service radio. If the internet's down, your power's out, you may not have much access to the outside world. But with the hand-cranked radio or battery-powered radio, you can especially if it's a weather radio, you can at least get an idea of what's going on, know what the weather's coming in. So I know they're not very expensive. You don't need anything real fancy, but just some sort of radio in case all your other electronics are out. Number 3, it come up instead of 14-day supply of ready-to-eat foods. You got to be thinking now. I may not have power, so it's got to be something that I may not be able to heat up. Something that can just get me by, to fill my belly, give me enough nutrients just to get by. And we're talking about for 10 days. Its suggestion was like canned soups, tuna pouches, peanut butter and crackers, fruit cups, things like that. You can get these tubs, survival tubs. I know I've got a couple of them that I've bought from a Sam's or Costco that's supposed to feed 2 people for a week or something. I don't know. They're in the closet somewhere. But you may not be able to have a way to boil water to heat up these whatever's in those boxes. I'm sure that those tubs you can get by, even if you don't. And you probably have a grill. You got ways to heat up some stuff. I really need my coffee in the morning, so I'm going to have a way at least to heat up some hot water where I can have a little coffee. 10 days without that'd be roughing it. That'd be tough to go. So, but let's try to have 10 days where you can at least get by for about 10 days. Probably would never need that long, but of food just to hold you over. And don't forget, make sure you have a manual can opener. Everybody's got these electric can openers, and make sure you have the old manual, so in case you need to open a can, you can get that can open. Number 4, backup power for medical devices. That, if you're on oxygen or you have a CPAP machine that you just have to have, you need to figure out somehow to get those where you have power to them. Now, I have and I'll show you a picture here. I have a little EcoFlow. It's only, I think it's 1,024 watt hours of power, but they call it a solar power station. It's got, if the sun was out, I could charge it up with some solar, take a little bit. I've also got a small gas generator that I could power it up to keep it going. That could keep my CPAP machine up, but it could also keep the phones charged, keep my internet going, maybe even let us watch a little TV, turn a few lights on, and hopefully if things come to very worst, may even let us run the heater for just a small amount of time. So I think that's something that you probably, especially as we get older, we probably need something like that. We don't want anything really big, really heavy, that we can't move around, that we can't get out and use and get it when we need it. But I think $500 or $600 you can get you can probably get a decent power station that can kind of fill some of those essentials, especially the medical devices. If you've got to have them for a short time, you just have to have. You got to be thinking about that. You got to have some sort of backup power. Number 5 is one thing that I've never thought about. Um, I don't know that I'm sold on this one, but they said a non-digital contact book. Said your phone goes out, you don't have power, you can't get to your contacts. It makes some sense. That could be something, that you need a hard copy where you've got your doctor's phone number, the kids' phone numbers, just your pharmacy, the neighbor's phone number. Not that you're going to be able to call them right then, but if somebody comes along, you can't get your contacts out of your phone because it's out, internet's down, it's out. Somebody else maybe has a satellite radio, or if it's an emergency, they can certainly the EMS or the police, they could get a hold of your emergency contacts, but you need them written down in a non digital contact book. So I guess it does make quite a bit of sense. One thing that we're going to do that this brought out, it was certainly too late to get before we had this last storm, but LED lanterns. I've got the flashlights. I had the batteries for them, but the flashlights, you've got to hold them. You've got, so you got one hand holding a flashlight and you're trying to get around and all. And what it suggested was getting LED lanterns, getting one for each of your main rooms. I looked them up. They're probably $15, $20 a piece. You put them in, you got 360 light. If you have some sort of temporary power supply or a power station, if you have those, you're not going to be taken away from your available power to light up your rooms and stuff if you have that lantern. And make sure it's LED. It uses low wattage. The batteries last forever. You certainly better get your 10 days, I would think. So that's one thing that we'll be buying in the next week or so is LED lanterns. Number 7, a water buffer. You got to have water. You think you don't think much about it because all the time, especially here in the city, I would go to the faucet, turn it on. We always have water. But in an emergency, in a catastrophic event, your pipes freeze up. You may not have that water. So you need to keep a little spare water. And this should be always. This is something that I've always done somewhat, and it suggested keeping per person a gallon a day per person. So if it's you and the wife for 10 days, you're gonna need some water, whether it's a 5-gallon jug or it's gonna be just some 1-gallon bottles. Remember the weight. Water gets pretty heavy. So store you up some water. Just have some. It's not going to go bad on you. Use it, but have a little bit of water, and then have a little bit. Think about a little bit extra because if you have to flush, you have to do a little hygiene, clean, brush your teeth. You're going to need a little water for that as well. So don't forget the water when you're doing the food for the 10 days. Don't forget the water. Number 8, 30-day medication buffer. You know, I think that may be one of the most important things. If you have medicine that insulin, or you have medicines that you just have to have, try to have a 30-day a 30-day supply. You know, keep you that 30-day buffer. Something could happen, a supply chain disruption, and that medicine just doesn't come in. Your pharmacy can't get a hold of it. China decides to quit shipping. Well, it may take them a month or so to get a workaround to get you that medicine in or get you on something different. But, with the insurance and stuff, they kind of, I know for us, they kind of watch when you're ready. They'll let you know when you can fill that prescription and not, but I think you can work it and try to make it where you're not letting yourself run down to near nothing, and then to just having a few pills before you run to the pharmacy. When you can get that prescription filled or refilled, go ahead, get it refilled and go pick it up. Make sure you have plenty. Just don't get yourself caught. Nothing could be worse than not having the medicines that you need, and you get sick during this 10-day period, and you may not have a way to get to the hospital, or it's just, I think it's just something you got to think about. When we were in the 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe that medicine was kind of an afterthought and probably wasn't even on much medication. But now, I fill a pill bottle full. I have a pill container deal for each day and each morning and afternoon for medicine. So you got to keep that up. Number 9, temperature control. It's going to get hot, or it's going to be cold. Doesn't seem like spring and fall, maybe at least weather in West Texas, it's unlikely we're going to have much power troubles. It's going to be on the coldest night. It's going to be that night the heater goes out, electricity goes down, we get an ice storm. Or in the summer, it's going to be the 4th of July on the hottest day that it could be, and we're going to have power go out. If it does for us, typically it's only been 4 or 5 hours. Power company gets out there, gets it back. We've had a substation kick a breaker or something. Maybe somebody's hit a utility pole or something, but it certainly could be something much, much longer. So think about that. They suggest have high quality wool blankets with heat. You'd be surprised how you wrap yourself up in a wool blanket, how much heat that blanket can help hold. And then when we're looking at the summer, maybe some battery operated neck fans. I know we use them at the ballpark. We've had some when we went to Disney World that just have the fan blowing. It made a big, big difference. So think about that. How are you going to stay warm, and how are you going to stay cool? Now, one thing that just pops to mind that I'll talk about that in another video. Then analog entertainment. Man, I can tell you, we got cabin fever with just 3 or 4 days of this cold where we couldn't get out. They, in the list here, called for a boredom bag. Have you some physical books, deck of cards, crossword or jigsaw puzzles? Have something to do. You're sitting there worrying. Your mind will get to thinking, and just to get filled full of worry. Have something to keep your mind busy, something to do to help pass the time away. So those are the 10 items. I hope it helps. But start thinking about, especially now, What would you do if you had a 10-day disruption? What do you need to do now to be prepared? Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Uh, After it kind of warms up and we get over this, I'll kind of show you what I have with my power station and my gas generator. Um, I've got gas logs for the fireplace. Uh, kind of how I was prepared or thought I was prepared for this storm that come through, and what changes I'm planning on making, because I, I really wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. Let me know your thoughts. Wes out.